He said, no, don't feel sorry for me. Like, I might look like I have nothing, but I have everything. And this is a guy that seemed homeless. He said, I might look like I have nothing, but I have everything. And he says, you look like you have everything, but you have nothing because you don't have peace. And in that moment in my life, I realized and I promised myself that peace would lead my life and be my priority and be my guide through this life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Money Mondays. We have a dear friend that flew in from halfway across the country to be here because of the timing is perfect for us, especially for you guys at home. On Tuesday, March 5th, today's podcast came out on Monday, March 4th. He is releasing his new book called Protect Your Peace. This is the third time he's put out a book, and practice makes perfect. And so after all these years of him building up millions of followers, inspiring hundreds of millions of people, if not more, on how to be better people, to turn themselves to God, spirituality, business, entrepreneurship, and everything between, his content is right here in the top 0.0001% of my favorite content on social media. And hopefully you guys are at home, are going to buy this book, listen to Trent Shelton. Wait, I just told the name. All right, guys. I'm also here co-hosted with The Real Tarzan. Obviously, as you guys know, Tarzan gets over 200 million views a month on social media, mostly focused on animal content. He's been mixing in some workout content because he's getting lean and mean over here, getting shredded for the summer. As you guys know, we typically cover 3 core topics: how to make money, how to invest money, how to give it away to charity. I want to talk with Trent about a couple other things about investing in yourself, your mind, your soul, your body, and your family. And so we're going to go into some different topics here on the Money Mondays. But if you guys can, keep us up there at number 1. We've been number 1 for 43 out of the last 54 weeks. And so it's important for you guys to share these topics about money. You guys have been out there supporting us, and there's going to be a lot of clips today. So what we're going to do is have Trent give a quick 2-minute bio so we can get straight to the money.
For sure, man. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for having me, Dan, Tarzan. I appreciate you guys. Quick bio, former NFL player. My career was about 3 years in and out. And then from there, because of hard times and me hitting my rock bottom, now I'm a motivational speaker, author, and I really, man, just a coach. I mean, I coach 707 football, so I do all the things like that, man. And just a guy who really wants to help people. So that's a short bio, but that's me. Are
you coaching one-to-many or one-to-one?
One-to-many. I do one-to-one too,
yeah.
But it's very, very rare just because time-wise, you know, I got 3 kids. So, but more one-to-many, group training, group coaching, and things like that.
I'm going to ask you a money question right out the gate.
Yeah.
Why do you think that 85% of NFL, NBA players end up bankrupt within 5 years of leaving the league?
Easy. Well, I think you got to go back to how we're brought up. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you aren't brought up around money, have no financial literacy around it, and you're being taught since you're a little kid that this is success. Let me buy all the things so I can go back home and show people I made it.
Right.
And they spend money on things that don't make them money, and then you live a lifestyle. So I was one of those guys too. Like when I got to the league, I was an undrafted free agent, but I was trying to keep up with guys that got $1 million contracts.
Right.
So I bought the core. At that time, I bought the 26-inch floaters, which is probably the worst investment ever. And I ended up getting cut like 3 weeks later. And so I realized at some point that, you know, because when you get, you know, a few $100,000, when you come from not getting that money, that's a lot of money.
Of course, absolutely.
And to the point I realized, like, wait a minute, I can't live off of this. And so I had to lose it to be able to appreciate it. And it taught me a lot. And I'm glad I went through that because the position I am now, obviously I make a lot more money now, but I know what to do with it.
Right. That is literally why we're here on Money Mondays. Why Tarzan and I drive this dang RV across the country is to have these discussions to hopefully protect people that make some money. They make a couple $100,000. You do some right investments, buy like a duplex or a fourplex. You start getting some rental income, buy some stocks. Like instead of buying the second car, the third car, the fourth car, or the fourth watch and the fifth watch, you start buying some investments.
Right.
Oh my gosh, like it changes your life forever. And I'm like passionate about talking about this topic because when I see guys that, not just athletes, obviously there's musicians, influencers, entertainers, people in real estate and everywhere in between, they make a bunch of money and then they end up either going bankrupt. And I think it's for a couple topics. One is they surround themselves with people that they want to show off to.
Absolutely.
They also surround themselves with people that they have to carry.
That's right.
Right?
1,000%.
You see the old stories of like the MC Hammer, Mike Tyson, AI. Like when you see Allen Iverson, like these guys had 100 million, 200 million. Evander Holyfield, like legends in the game, bankrupt. Luckily, we're seeing now they're all coming back.
That's right.
Allen Iverson's balling again. You know, Evander Holyfield's got businesses again. Like, and so surrounding yourself with the people. Next part is the knowledge. None of us grew up learning about money.
Right.
They still don't teach you that about money in school. I think it's a very important topic, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, is that we need to be learning about money, because otherwise you just go buy 3 cars and you go buy 4 watches and you think that, oh, maybe I can sell it later, and you don't realize that car is half the price later, that watch is 30 cents on the dollar later. Like, you're not gonna be able to sell it later. And the third thing is intent. They don't know what to do. So when they do get the money, their intent is to go buy the stuff or to increase their overhead. And overhead is the biggest killer. They think they need a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 7-bedroom house when it's just them and their girl or them and their friends.
That's right.
They have to get 3 cars, and they don't realize, oh, it's only $1,200 a month and $1,400 a month, $1,600 times 3 forever. You know?
Absolutely.
So it starts to add up. Okay, Trent, when did you decide that you were going to transition and start focusing on speaking and coaching?
It had to be 2013, and just to be honest with you, it wasn't ever a business thing for me. It was a life thing for me. My best friend committed suicide, my college teammate, and it was a promise to him around that time, 2015. I think he died in 2011, but it became real for me in 2013. But it was a promise to him that I would help people with their self-worth. And so a lot of my content that you see now comes from that, because he lost sports, he lost a girl, and he committed suicide.
Wow.
And I know how it feels to be at rock bottom. You know, I was close to even taking my life at times, because once football is over, who am I? That's my everything. So when I lose that identity, there's nothing for me to live for. I never worked a 9 to 5, even today. So I was 4 years old, it's been sports. And so when that's stripped away, it's like, what do I do? And it pushed me into this space of me sharing my heart on Facebook. Like, I was just picking up my cell phone. I didn't have no production. And I just say, you know what? I'm going to take what I have, use what I have, and I'm going to speak goodness into the world. And that now changed over 15 years later to me doing what I do now. But even just this is on my heart to say, like, even for my shift of, even with money and things like that, like, one of the things that I had to do, and I want to say this, is I had to get out of the business of impressing people. Because when you're in that business, you're going to go bankrupt.
For sure.
And that was my thing. Like, I had to get all these things to impress people or to take care of people. So I had to be able to tell people no. I had to be able to set boundaries. And when you tell people no, you're going to see how they really feel about you. So I'll give a million yeses. I was the one getting everybody in the club. We were doing all the things. But once I said no, a lot of those people switched up on me.
Right.
And so I'm at a point now where my circle is so small, but I'm not spending money I don't need to spend trying to impress people.
Tarzan, when you go from doing what you love to then having 1 million followers and 2 million followers and 5 million followers and 10 million followers, your friends say you change. Things change around you. And the people that you grew up with are like, oh, you're too cool for us now. You're too good for us now. Or now you're traveling so much, you don't hang out anymore. How do you deal with that as you're growing through life, when friends think that you're leaving them behind or that you're changing when you're doing what you're supposed to do for your career and for your life?
It's a great question, man. I've gotten that a few times with people I know. They're like, oh, bro, you done got Hollywood and this and that, you know. But the people that really know me, they know I was going to disappear anyway. You know, as soon as I got a chance, as soon as I got some money, I'm out. I'm going to the jungle. I'm gone, you know. And I always come back. The people that I'm really close with, I always keep in touch with them. I always, you know, because they were my rocks to where I got to where I'm at today.
That's right.
I never forget where I come from. You know, one of my best friends, Joe, he let me sleep on his couch. When I came to Florida, I failed, went back home. He was established. He had a girl. He was working. He's like, bro, sleep on the couch. I got you, bro. You know, and till this day, even with 10 years before that, he's my best friend. He's my best friend till this day. And that was over 10 years ago, you know. And those people, I never lose contact with. I never lose. I never lose my touching base with them. Few of my uncles, few of my aunts, the people that actually been there, they're never going to say you switched up. People that were just, you know, oh, I knew that guy in high school. He ain't right. DMing me. Those are the guys saying I switched up. We weren't friends anyway.
That's right.
You know, we were just acquaintances. We were associates. You know, but the guys I played football with that knew me when I had snakes in my dorm, you know, I still talk to those guys to this day. You know, and it's cool to be, you know, still rooted into what you are. And when you make $1 million or 1 million followers, it just amplifies exactly who you are. If you're a bad person, you're just gonna do more bad shit.
That's right.
Bad stuff. If you like animals, probably gonna get more animals. You know, if you're a car enthusiast, probably gonna get more garage spaces to get more cars.
And
right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're a serial entrepreneur, when you're a kid selling baseball cards and you know at the flea market, and when you get your first business going public and you make $50 million, you're probably gonna get hundreds. You're probably gonna do it really big. You know, so it's some people are gonna say you changed up. Some people are going to say, oh, he got Hollywood. I don't think everybody's meant to make it out of the slums or get it out the mud and then take all your nice stuff and go back and put it back in the mud.
Yeah.
You made it out for a reason. It's okay to say what's up, but you don't need to go back. You don't need to stay back there. You got lucky enough to get skyrocketed into the future of your dreams. Take it serious, because just as fast as you got it, you can take it away.
1,000%.
Trent Shelton, you've gotten hundreds and hundreds of millions of views doing inspirational content when we're in a world filled with negativity content. And a lot of content that goes viral is drama, bullcrap, and a lot of things that are really frustrating to watch on social media, fake news, etc. How can we inspire more of the world to do more better content, inspirational content, and be positive?
Well, I think everybody needs it. Everybody has their struggles. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how many followers you have, or where you're from. Everybody goes through struggle, and that's something that's taught me. Even the biggest entrepreneurs I know, they deal with things. The people that have literally nothing in their life, they deal with things. And what I found out is that people need help. People need a voice, and people need you. And for me, for so long, I was asking myself, like, why me? What makes me special? And I think a lot of people stop themselves for going to do what's on their heart, especially inspirational content, because they feel like they're not perfect. And who am I to talk about things to help people when I'm not perfect? And the thing I always tell people, you weren't born to be perfect. You were born to be real. And so people need your real story, your real message, because that's relatable. Like perfection content, as I call it, it's inspiring. So I can show you my house, I can show you all these things, which is dope. And that will inspire you. But the transformational content is the content where you feel connected to. Like, man, I go through that too. Man, Trent has millions of followers, but he struggles with depression too. Yeah. Like, I lost my mother. I almost lost my daughter. I lost my grandmother in the span of a week. And people saw that. And I wasn't afraid to show that. And the message that I got, tore my Achilles a year later, ruptured it, and dealt with injury, depression as an athlete. My first surgery ever. I never got hurt playing ball. My first surgery. And I'm like, how do I move now? And so many messages came in from people that were hurt or people that lost their mother. Was like, man, I needed that. So just imagine if I would have hid that to protect my brand. Just imagine if I would have not even spoke up on that. I'm not saying you have to, but that was my healing too. That was my therapy. So a lot of my content is really therapy for myself. And I realize that it becomes therapy for other people.
The number 2 fear in the world is snakes. But the number 1 fear is actually public speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
How can someone that's out there listening that wants to be Trent Shelton up on these stages in front of thousands of people, how can they get over their fear to walk onto that stage?
I would like to say this. For me, it was a deeper meaning, a deeper why. And I know we hear that a lot, like in personal development, know your why. But my why was so strong. So, for example, like snakes, right? And you just asked me, do I want to pick up a snake? And I was like, no. But it's a fear, right? Mm-hmm. But I guarantee if my daughter was in there and a snake was about to get my daughter, I wouldn't think twice.
Right.
Yep.
Right? Is the fear still there? Absolutely. What changed? The meaning of that situation became bigger. And so if you don't have a bigger meaning, fear is going to control you every single time. So as a speaker, as a communicator, like, what's the meaning of why you're going to go on stage? I'm fearful all the time. I have nerves before I'm doing this episode. But I know that there's somebody out there that needs this message, and that why and meaning is greater than that fear. And so your meaning, your why, your mission, your purpose, your vision has to be greater than any fear, and you will walk out on stage every single time. And I'm an introvert by nature, by the way. Like, and people don't realize that, like, they see me and they're like, oh, Trent, you're so extroverted. If you ask my father, out of the 3 boys, who would be the pick to be a speaker, he would have picked me last. He still can't believe it. And so he still can't believe it.
To this day.
But it means a lot to me because of that promise I made to my friend, because I know how it feels to be at rock bottom. It means so much to me that the fear doesn't control me. And I create healthy fears. Like, what if I don't go do this? Like, I'm getting messages where every day where somebody's not committing suicide, or their marriage got better, or they had to leave an abusive situation every single day. So if I don't give this content, if I don't step on this stage, what does it cost to me? And when the opportunity costs, just like in business, when you understand the opportunity costs, you will go through fear every single time and you'll be consistent with it. So it cost me too much not to embrace my fear.
Tarzan, the number 2 fear is snakes. You're out there, you're in Venezuela, you're in this country, that country, and a lot of times you don't know those snakes in India. You're out there in Borneo, you don't know those snakes. They're not ones that you have at the wild jungle in the house. These are literally wild.
Yeah.
How do you get over that fear? And is there fear when approaching these big new snakes that you don't know their name?
I used to really be scared of snakes when I was a kid. And until this day, I do find snakes as I'm traveling. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if it's venomous. I don't know. I know where I'm at, but I just don't know what exactly that animal is. I know it's a snake. I just don't know exactly what type of snake it is. Does it have venom? How potent is the venom? I still pick it up, so I'm not necessarily scared of it, but I'm ultra cautious because I'm usually in the middle of nowhere with no medical attention or very little medical attention. And if I get bit by something, it could be the last one, the last hoorah, or I can get permanent nerve damage and never be able to use my left hand to reflex good, or, I'm just, my body's compromised, So I feel like with fear, you can get over fear with knowledge, A lot of people don't know, which is why they're scared. They have all these premeditated things that's probably going to happen before they even happen. So you're stressing yourself out before it happens. You're all off whack. You're all off your edge. And then when it doesn't happen, you're still stressed out during the present of it. You stress yourself out before, and then afterwards you're like, oh my God, you're hyperventilating. You just put yourself through that whole workshop for no reason, And the reason I brought the stress, because I have to be calm in so many situations where in return I'm stressed because it's like, I don't know what this is, but I want to pick it up. I want to get a video of it. I want to learn about it after I get some Wi-Fi or go open a book and check out what snake this is in South Brazil in this one part of the region. It's like, wow, that snake wasn't venomous. I could have held it even more and got more, but it's just the cautious of it, and it's all about knowing. A lot of fears are passed down, especially snakes, especially in black culture.
That's right.
Living in the South, all I heard growing up was a good snake's a dead snake, and that's just passed down. And black snake chased me through the yard. Yeah. Snakes don't chase people. You know what I'm saying? there's like, I think there's like 3,500 to 4,000 species of snakes. I think maybe one or two of them would like come your way for a second and then just like as a bluff, and they just go the other way. So you got 4,000 snakes that ain't gonna chase you.
That's good to
so
know.
it's all snakes don't chase you.
In my backyard. And I'm like, man, it's coming after
Not
me.
all black snakes are venomous snakes. You know what I'm saying? So knowledge is key to knowing, to getting over that fear, man.
So Trent, I've always been a big advocate of coaches and mentors.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important for people, whatever level they are at in their life, whether it's just getting started in business, maybe a relationship coach, an athletic coach, etc. Why is it important for people to have coaches in their life, no matter what level they're at?
There's a saying that experience is the best teacher. And I do agree to that to an extent, right? There's some things you have to go through to learn, but I also think, why go through it if you don't have to? And a coach or a mentor, somebody that's already done it and proven, it just shortcuts your journey. You know what I mean? Like having people in my life that I can call and be like, should I make this investment? Mm-hmm. Does this seem smart? That's already done it. It saves me a lot of heartbreak, a lot of heartache, and it saves me a lot of time. When I started throwing events, I made a call to one of my friends, like, how do you do this? Mm-hmm. And it saved me a lot of money, a lot of time. So having coaches and mentors are important because, number one, they're going to keep you from making a lot of mistakes. And then number two, they're going to shortcut the journey for you a little bit. And number three, they're going to expand your mind. Like when I get around, coming here, like my mind is, I love nature. Like obviously I don't love the things in nature, but I love nature. You can help me with that, right? But I do love nature. I'm going to protect your peace. Like I'm a nature. I love hiking. I love getting out in nature. It's like, I feel like it's God's natural medicine for the soul for me. But me now coming here and looking at this, right? It expands my vision. Me getting around people who have more finances, how they look at money, it changed my relationship with money. And so I think it's important to get around more so you realize you can do more.
I'm going to give you guys a real life example of why a mentor or coach, no matter what level you're at, is very useful. Imagine that I want to start a clothing brand and this person wants to start a clothing brand over here. But I have Damon John and he's my coach. I don't know if I have to go too much farther. Let's go. Damon John has done billions of dollars in sales since you probably weren't even alive, right? 1999, 1996, 1997, he was out there with LL Cool J selling clothing brand back then. When I first started my clothing brand, I had a little 20-foot booth. He had the whole walkway. Okay, that was 25 years ago. And so if I have Damon John as my advisor, my mentor, my coach, and I'm like, hey, what manufacturer should I use? Hey, who should I use for merchant processing? Hey, do you know any sales reps, distributors? What should I do for my credit card processing if I'm going to do this? Should I give terms? Should I do net 30 or net 60 or net 90? Should I give terms at all? Over here, you have no one to talk to. Imagine how much faster I'm going to get to 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, etc. versus you when you don't know what to do. It's like if we're walking through a forest, Damon John knows where the trees are, where the snakes are, where the pitfalls are, where to duck, where to jump. He knows all the things because he's gotten all the scratches. He's gotten all the bruises. He's fallen in those holes. He's been through all those things. Damon's been through it for 25 years and growing. This person is going blind. And they're going to fall in dirt. And they're going to fall in the mud. And they're going to get bit by the snake. And they're going to hit their head. And boom. That's okay in theory. But why? When people have books that you can walk through life and tell you, hey, this is how you protect your peace. This is how you deal with relationships. This is how you deal with X, Y, and Z. You guys have podcasts, YouTube videos, social media that you can learn for free or very cheap all the things in the world that you want to do. And then you can take it to the next level and hire coaches, mentors, go to masterminds, go to private events, go to big events, etc., and learn from some of the greatest people in the world that have built real life businesses in your category. Passionately say, if you're going to go down a path and you want to start a clothing brand, learn from Damon John. You want to learn how to do X, Y, Z, learn from that person. There are category influencers or niche influencers or people or mentors or coaches in your category right this second that have written books, made social media content, or made very affordable ways for you to learn that will fast forward your success. Trent Shelton, as you're going through your career, why have you written a third book? Why did Protect Your Peace come out? When you already had 2 books, you're already speaking, you're already busy, why write a third book?
This was a book I always wanted to write, even before my first book. I've been living these words since 2009. Literally, it's a lifestyle for me, and it changed my life. And I don't want to go deep into the story, but 2016, I was doing a 32-city tour, my own tour.
Whoa.
Not thousands, but thousands of people in totality. We did 4 outside the country. Each city probably had about 1,000 people, and I was burnt out. Like, I had all the things. Like, my videos are starting to go super viral, and I'm growing this huge brand. Right, everybody's knowing me, like Facebook, and it's going crazy. But yet, I didn't have peace inside of my soul and my heart. And so I had personal issues and I had business issues where I know I needed to fire people around me because I had my friends around me that probably shouldn't have been working for me. But I didn't want to fire them because, man, if I fire them, like, I'm letting them down. And so San Francisco, man, I'll never forget it. I go out there, I speak on stage, and I muster up the strength. I make everybody happy. I'm literally smiling for the camera, but down behind the scenes, I go back into this alley outside the theater, and I come across a guy. And I'll make this story short. It was a homeless guy. And he sees me. He said, "Oh, you're the guy that everybody here is here to see," because he saw my picture, my name, and he said, "Man, it must suck to be you."
Whoa.
Because I'm literally crying. Like, he can see it, and I'm trying to wipe my eyes, but he can see the stress on me. He said, "It must suck to be you." And I said, first I took kind of offense. I'm like, but I said, well, "Why you say that?" He said, "Because I'm looking at you. You're making everybody else happy. I literally walked outside. Everybody's like, Trent Shelton this, Trent Shelton that, and you're back here. And you look empty inside." And so what did I do? I tried to give him $100, push him along because I didn't want to deal with that conversation. He said, "No, don't feel sorry for me. Like, I might look like I have nothing, but I have everything." And this is a guy that seemed homeless. He said, "I might look like I have nothing, but I have everything." And he says, you look like you have everything, but you have nothing because you don't have peace. Mm-hmm. And in that moment in my life, I realized and I promised myself that peace would lead my life and be my priority and be my guide through this life. So peace sometimes says, you know what? That opportunity looks great externally, but internally, there's something there that doesn't serve your soul. Oh, that deal right there looks great financially, but there's something inside of me that's saying no. And so I've learned how to listen to my no. And so I want to give this to the world. And peace doesn't mean chaos doesn't exist. This isn't a book to like externally end all the chaos around you. It's just saying, like, these are tools that, yes, the chaos exists, but the chaos won't kill the calm inside you. Right? Yes, the storm exists, but peace says this storm will pass. And so you protect your energy, protect your mind, protect your soul. That's the journey I take you on, protecting those 3 things, which equals protecting your life.
Tarzan, why is it so important to study and learn about the animals that you're interacting with?
Ooh, that's a great question. To learn about an animal before, especially in my field of touching things and hanging out with things, you come across the right animal that you don't know about, and he's got that energy, he's got that alpha, he's got that top rank in the food chain. Better understand what you're getting yourself into. you know, and it really helps to read. Or, for instance, I have coaches in all different departments, from apes to snakes to elephants to birds, sharks. I have all these different people that I call up, and you know, I'll read books all day. I'll go on the internet. I'll surf articles. I'll have my own personal research. I'll call the people that have spent a lifetime longer I've been alive just on one species to get the right answer, you know. And a lot of times I'll come across animals that can really mess me up, and I get a gut feeling that I learned from snakes. Some snakes, you know, they're just not having a good day, and I don't know why, but internally it's probably like my built-in safety net as a human to say, hey, if you do that, you're gonna die, you know. And I do have these gut feelings a lot that I got it from snakes, because I used to get bit a lot as a kid. So I could see a snake and know he's gonna bite me, you know. And luckily that turned into, hey, you stick your arm in that habitat, that lion might rip it off, or if you go too close to that buffalo, he might stick those horns in your abdomen, you know. Or if you get too close to that giraffe, he might front kick your teeth out, you know. So all these things come from learning, reading, asking questions, obsessing over the species so you know what it is. And even then, I'll sometimes get in front of an animal and I'm like, bro, he's gonna maul me. I can feel it. And then there's also some animals that can maul me and I'm like, oh, he's cool. Yeah. He's chilling. I'm gonna go hang out with him, you know. And it's just a feeling I have that I have to go with. Sometimes I go against the grain and I'll get bit by a small animal, a snake, or get scratched by something. But when I come across that hyena and I got that feeling, probably don't want to get my calf muscle ripped off. I probably don't want my ACL to get just chewed to pieces, you know. If I come across that buffalo and he looks nice and fluffy and it's albino and I can get a cool selfie with it, but I don't feel like I want his horn to be impaled in my chest, probably going to skip that one, you know. It's calculated risk.
How do you, can I ask a question? Yeah. How do you, like, because animals can feel your energy, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how do you stay calm in those moments where, like, yeah, the animal seems cool, right? But, like, how do you, even in fear, like, how do you stay calm so they don't feel that energy? Like, is it something that you tell yourself or do?
Yeah, you can, it's just like Mike Tyson says, you can have a game plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know? Same with animals, man. You can have this calmness and this, you know, this zen, and it can still go haywire, you know. A lot of times I'm very, like, stone-faced when I'm hanging out with something that's, like, threatening. Stone-faced. Whether it's coming in at me fast or it's moving frantically, I just won't even move. If an animal comes and has a marked charge, trying to bite me or buck at me, I just won't even pay almost any attention. It has to fully, like, touch me or hurt me for me to get a reaction like, hey, you better back up. And I learned this with 4 rhinoceros. I first got to Africa, 2018, 2017, and I hopped out the safari car. And it's like, keep your arms and feet in the vehicle at all times. You know, don't get out, don't keep your seatbelt on. And I seen these rhinoceros on a video, and the guy was like, "Yo, these ladies were sitting in a safari car, and a rhino came up, and the lady like scratched his butt." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a cool rhino. Like he's sweet, you know." So we happened to go toward the same path of rhinos, and I seen them, and they were massive. So I hopped out, and one came a little close to me, and I like got down so low, and I didn't have any eye contact, and I was just calm though. I was chilling. And but in my mind, I had, for the first time, I was like, bro, if this thing even comes toward you or like has a mock charge or even touches you, you gotta roll back underneath this car, or you gotta jump back in the safari car immediately, or you're gonna get yourself killed. You know, they step on your head, step on your chest, you're dead. Is a rhinoceros. Yeah, and there's 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. In my mind, so many things are processing, and it's almost like time slows down, like an adrenaline rush. Yeah. That first kickoff. Yeah. You've been at kickoff. Absolutely. You know, you've been at kick return. So as soon as that ball hits the air and that guy catches it and hit that first block, almost everything just blinds out. Yep. You know, it's like the game's on till the last play of the 4th quarter or overtime. Same with animals, man. I just I always stay calm until it's last thing I'll say, it's my best way to to answer that. It's ballet or breakdancing. Either it's slow, it's smooth, it's beautiful art to see, or it's like, bro, you better start spinning on your head. You gotta jump up, do a backflip. You gotta get up out of there, man. And that's how with animals is. It's either smooth, calm, swan-like movements, or it's like Tasmanian devil fighting a hot cobra. Yeah, it's no joke.
All right, Trent, I'm going to ask you a very important question for our time and our generation. The households for the families have changed a lot over the years, mostly because of social media, our attention spans of the children. The family household and architect of the family has changed a lot, and they're not going to church as much. People aren't having babies as much. There's a lot of things that are changing within the household. What can people do better to invest more time with their family?
Disconnect with your family, not with your immediate but disconnect from the world. And it's tough because even in the entrepreneur space, in the business space, the hard part, and I call this being mentally tough, is being able to balance personal and professional life. It's tough. Right now I'm gonna be in 3 cities in 24 hours. I'm flying back literally red-eyed so I can make sure I'm at my son's game. So these things I have that are non-negotiable for me to be there. So yes, you're gonna have seasons of grind, but you gotta have seasons of actually understanding what matters. And so principle number 9 in this book is called fulfillment. And I would tell everybody listening to this right now, what truly matters to you. And so if your family truly matters to you, then it shouldn't be, and don't take it out of context, but it shouldn't be always, I have to find time for my family. No, for me, it's I have to find time for these other things. And we literally connect. We do the things that families probably no longer do anymore. We play games. I'm with my daughters all the time, reading them bedtime stories. So those are the things that matter, because when I leave this earth, yes, I might be the man and hero to everybody else, but what does that matter if I walk inside my house and my kids don't even have a relationship with me? If my kids don't even love me, if I'm not a hero to them. So when I get texts from my kids, I'm their hero. And that to me is success. And so you got to get back to change your definition of success and what that means to you. And I think sometimes, Dan, you have to lose certain things to realize that. So when I lost my mother, I realized more than ever, what truly matters. And what truly matters is the people, as you talked about earlier, the people who love you for you. Yes, you can love me for what I give and what surrounds my life. You can love me because I put out this content online, but there's people that love me just for who I am. And those are the people I want to spend my time with and give my energy to. So you got to get back to that.
There's another thing in our society I want to ask you the question about, because you're a professional athlete. Participation trophies.
Oh, I hate it, bro. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I'll give you a perfect story. My son's 15 now. I'll never forget. He ran a track meet and he ran the 200 meters and they had a ribbon for 7th place. And I took the ribbon. I said, bro, you lost. We're not going to celebrate 7th place in here. You lost. Get better.
Yes.
And I coach kids. I mentor kids. And we live in this world of everybody wins. Little Johnny has to get a participation trophy because he was a part of the team. No, little Johnny was not good. You're not good enough, and period. And once you give people that reality, it makes them work, because what happens?
Work harder. Exactly.
Yeah, what happens? You grow them up in a society where they think that everything entitlement. We live in an entitlement culture. Oh, I deserve this because I participated. No, you deserve it because you worked hard. Everybody doesn't play on my team. And I tell parents straight up, this isn't pay to play. If your kid isn't good enough, either he's going to be good, he's going to have to put in the work, or he's going to sit the bench. Because why would I make kids suffer that are relentlessly working hard on their craft for a kid that just wants participation? And some parents give me flack about it, but I'm helping you later in life, because this world ain't going to give a damn about you thinking that I need this because I'm a part of it. And that's the problem with this culture.
Yeah, you get a sales team and there's one guy that's doing 90% of the sales. What happens to the other guys? They're going to get fired, and they don't get a participation trophy for selling $400 when the other guy sold 30 grand, right? It's the reality of life. And also, when they lose, the rest of the year, they need to be in practice.
For sure.
What are you worried about practice for if you're going to get a trophy anyway? You know what I'm saying?
It's ridiculous, bro. The culture, has to change that. And as you can see, I get fired up about that because it's building weak men. Right. You know what I mean? Weak boys. And everybody thinks things are given. I asked my team, hey, what do you want to do with your life? Oh, I want to make it to the NFL. And it's so funny. I'm like, okay, how you going to make it? Are you working hard? You're doing just what everybody else is doing? You just working like you just doing the workouts that your coaches are giving you, but you want a less than 1% dream? And everybody thinks it's just easy to make it. And so I tell my son all the time, like, you're not good enough. And I will champion him for sure. But I was like, bro, if you want to make it, you got to be doing things that nobody else is doing. Absolutely. Because it's terribly hard to make that dream come true. I think social media has made it look easy. But even going D1, like, less than 1% of people make it.
For sure.
So I really give people that real. I mean, even as a speaker, bro, in this industry, people think, oh, just because I start a podcast, I'm going to be successful.
Right.
Or I start a business, I'm supposed to be, or I'm a speaker, and man, like, I'm not on stages. I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for 15 years. Mm-hmm. You're in year 1. Like, grind it out, but most people quit because they don't get that instant gratification or that entitlement that they want.
All right, last topic. Charity. Why should people in their households or in their business incorporate charity and philanthropy into their world?
If I can tell you one thing that's blessed my life, it's giving other people without expecting anything in return. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, and I don't do it to receive back. But my dad and my mom has always taught me, like, when God blesses you, you got to bless them back by giving other people. And so I do things silently for people that I make a promise. Like, I tell them to make a promise, don't tell anybody. And it's like planting seed in a fertile ground. And I can't explain it, just brings a multitude of harvest back to your life. And so I also know how it feels like to be at rock bottom. So why wouldn't you do for others that you would want somebody to do for yourself? So you're giving these blessings not to keep to yourself, but to spread to other people. And that's how legacy, that's how your goodness, multiplies. And so that's what it is for me. Because if I was in that position, I got a chance to go to Fiji 3 times, and I've done events for free. And people say, you should have charged. But I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to charge. It's a third world country. I want to go and give goodness back. And I know at some point, it might not come back financially for me, but it might come back for my kids. Yeah. It might come back on a health thing that is maybe not tied directly, but I'm blessed because I did this for somebody else. And so that's why I believe that it's important. And more people need to start being more givers.
What is the final thing that you would say to people that are listening in our crazy world right now, especially in a election year? There's so much chaos in the media. How can people stay calm in the chaos?
I would tell you to really get clear on what matters. And it's so easy to lose your focus on things that don't serve your life, don't serve your soul, don't move the needle in your life. Get focused on the things that's going to really help you, help your family, and help your mission and your vision. And a lot of people, pick up their cell phones, they scroll all day, they pick up their cell phones and say they don't have time, but you're spending time on things that waste your time. So I'll tell you, get incredibly focused on the things that matter. And I'll just tell you this, I know it seems morbid, but forever comes with an expiration date. And so when you realize that, you'll stop playing with time. So that's what I'll tell you. Stop playing with time and go live your best life.
All right, guys, you're listening to the Money Mondays. Obviously, this is the type of episode you can go back and listen to again. You can also go follow Trent Shelton across social media, especially on Instagram. His content is fantastic. Share that type of content because our world needs to see it. They need to hear it. We need more positivity out there in the world. As a request, as you guys know, we have not done ads. We've been here for over a year. We're getting offers left and right. We have not done ads. You don't see me reading about Wix.com or any of these brands. Nothing against Wix.com, but I just, as of right now, unless some brands that we really feel a part of, we're not going to be doing that. And so what we do ask for you guys to do is share the content with your friends, family, and followers. It's important to have these discussions because we all grew up thinking that it's rude to talk about money, and we here at the Money Mondays think it's rude to not talk about it. So follow along, check us out on themoneymondays.com, and we will see you guys next Monday. But wait, tomorrow, Tuesday, March 5th, get Protect Your Peace, because Trent Shelton is really putting out there in the world, and he wants people to do better, and you'll see that when you check out his content.